The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
And that's a lot of disappointment. So we try to make sure he has a good time here because his team sucks so bad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick.
Hey, you know what? For a bad team, like for a team in the Flames that was written off in like, when we would say we wrote them off? End of November? Well, that's no. But like for the season, we wrote them off in like November-ish, late November, early December. For them to be only like 10 points out of a playoff spot essentially is insane. They play hard. You know why? Because the game is about the fans. And if you don't play hard when the fans are in the building, what the hell are you doing this job for? Not.
He would lose last night. He's right about so many things, but he refuses to give me the winning lottery numbers for tonight. What the hell, man? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger.
Well, I'm wrong about a lot too. I'd give you the numbers. What would you do for me though with the winnings or with the knowledge of the winning numbers? Yeah, hey, fair. No, I'll take that all day of the week, every day of the week.
I have to say, there was a time in 1970 when I watched the standings every day as a little kid. The Montreal Canadiens missed the playoffs, and they had a chance that went right down to the wire, and they missed the playoffs. And my dad was so happy because the Montreal Canadiens had missed the playoffs. You had to be there. You had to be in Canada at the time to realize what a rivalry Toronto and Montreal had. The Leafs didn't join the rivalry when I was growing up, and haven't since really. But at that time, it was a big deal. And we did follow the standings every day. Dad would get the paper and we'd watch it. We'd look at it. This is like 1970, March, April, something like that. And life rolls along, and it really, there's always the top to the bottom, and you can kind of agree there's going to be 6 teams who have a chance at the Stanley Cup, and maybe somebody surprises. But this year, today, now, if you go look at the Pacific Division standings and then the wild card in the West, it's absolutely ludicrous. This is Gary Bettman's dream come true, and it's something of a nightmare for fans because anything can happen. Anything. Does anybody have an anything can happen Tuesday?
Yeah, I remember like a month ago when Bam dropped 83 on a Tuesday. That's what happened.
Okay.
Yesterday, I went for a pop, and I ended up buying garlic stuffed olives at like 10:30 at night. It was very strange. And then a whole slew of...
Is there a reason you're revealing all of this?
No.
Okay. Do you like olives?
No, I hate him.
Sir, I am confused by you.
That's what I'm saying. Random Tuesday night.
All right. So I'm going to give you the lines, and then these cats, all they want to talk about the basketball. We're going to get to it in two shakes, but I want to give the lines. This is via Jason Gregor. McDavid with Hyman in the lineup and Savoy playing on the other wing. So that's high skill, getting after the puck. These guys can play with the captain. Nuge is with Podkolzin and Roslovic, and I will tell you, I like that line. I do. I think that line could really do some very good things. Third line, Szymanski with Doc and Frederick. I really like Doc and Frederick together. Wrote about it today in The Athletic, where I'm talking about the Oilers looking for another Esa Tikkanen. And look, I know Colton Doc just got here, and I know Trent Frederick isn't your favorite player, but that's the kind of guy Stan Bowman wants on that third or fourth line. And then Henrique with Kapanen and Lazar. Draisaitl skating, not going to play, and he's with Owen Michaels and Ike Howard. So there's 5 lines, 15 forwards out there. And they're doing their best work, living their best life. It's Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Murphy, Wallman, Emberson, Stash the extra, Ingram in goal. Big game. They got to win. Boys, before we get to the basketball, do you want to just spend a second, just like 2? I know it hurts you to talk hockey, but can you believe these standings right now in the Pacific and overall?
Well, first of all, I think I speak for Josh when I say we love talking hockey. It's not our main bread and butter. I think that's pretty apparent.
I'm literally vibrating over here
by both of our passion and maybe our knowledge level. But yeah, we love talking hockey. Yeah, the standings are crazy. Listen, I'm gonna tease a little bit. We're gonna do our heart ballots on Friday for declinations, our heart and NBA MVP ballots. And the weakness of the Pacific, this isn't targeted at McDavid, by the way, but that will come up. And if you
this is targeted at McDavid.
No,
you play in a softest baby poo division.
McDavid?
It's not. I just don't want to say who it's targeted to. It's probably actually pretty obvious now. It's not McDavid. In fact, but listen, my thing is,
Stuart Skinner.
You should have won this division going away with how weak it is. If it's still in it's not a lost season because that's not the goal. But boy, when you look at how down it was, when you look at how weak it was, when you look at what these standings are, and you see a team like LA there with 90 points, who's obviously had a great run here to kind of get back in the swing of things. It's just you should have won it with 108 points. Let's be serious.
Well, it's good that you're cracking down on Connor McDavid.
No.
Well done by you.
I'm cracking down on Connor McDavid. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Friday can't come fast enough.
But that you do bring up.
When do you need the heart things?
So the official ballots, I think, have to go out by Friday, right?
So you want mine Friday morning, Friday at noon?
Oh, the one for the email I sent you?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could send it like Thursday night, Friday morning, that'd be great.
Okay, sounds good. Josh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was sort of wondering the same thing. Will I remember to send in my heart ballot? Probably not. But well,
you're also doing it on declination.
You're right. So it doesn't really matter.
How many names do you need?
5, top 5.
So the ballot's 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lowetide doesn't pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some out of town scoreboard watching tonight with the Knights playing the Kraken. Do the Kraken have it in them to help out the Oilers? Maybe. Jordan Eberle helping out his old club.
Why not?
Put up some big numbers tonight. I mean, hey, you know what? I remember when he got traded away. All the girls in my math class, they were very sad. But no, I totally lost it now. It's the Pacific is wild.
Yeah,
it is absolute. Can the Oilers still finish 8th?
Well, they can. Yeah, they can finish. Yep. It's first, second, third in the Pacific, or either wild card. Anywhere they can play Colorado. They could play LA. Everybody's loving that. Anaheim. They can win the division.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard, and yet here we are.
Yeah,
here we are.
Wild days, man. Wild days. All right. I know you guys want to get to this, and I can't believe that Declan went full anti-McDavid in the intro, but I guess that's how he rolls. Let's talk about it. I said in the intro, you said Miami will lose the opener, and they did. That's just from being a fan, right? You know that team, and you know what they are.
Well, as the learned Miami Heat fan that I am, I don't know.
Josh speaking, by the way.
I know. He's doing it effectively.
I just wanted to get that one in there. First of all, the LaMelo Ball thing on Bam, bad. Absolutely changed the outcome of the game. I mean, this is a guy that can put up 83 points in a game. So you take that guy off the court, apparently, obviously the Heat are going to look a lot different, but in a much more serious sense, Davion Mitchell.
There you go.
nickname in pro sports, off night, because if you're getting guarded by Davion Mitchell, you're about to have an off night. Killer nickname. He comes on, has probably the best game of his life, trying to keep the Heat afloat. I'm a big Davion Mitchell fan, Raptors legend, Kings legend. And so that was a fun game. I would say that was the best playing game to date so far.
So let me reset, as I did a minute ago, and ask Declan about the Miami Heat prediction you made. And you were correct, and it's because you have such a great insight into a team that you are a fan of.
Yeah, I mean, like, this Miami team didn't have much of a ceiling. You know, I obviously watched them, I think, much closer than most people, and they kind of have, like, their offense is, hey, can we get Norm Powell, or can we get Andrew Wiggins a mid-range shot, or can Tyler just like run a high pick and roll? For some reason, the offensive, and by the way, off the bench, it's just Jaime Jaquez running point for some reason, even though he, can't really pass the ball. Now, the Charlotte Hornets are like, they're a really fun, they're a really, like, they run and gun, they score the ball really well. They're a lot of fun to watch, but a lot of their problems were evident. Like, Miami made an adjustment in this game in the way they ran their offense, and the fact that they said, like, we're going to let Davion Mitchell get downhill, we're going to let him get to the rim, we're going to actually move the ball a little bit around the perimeter. And they kind of looked a little bit flustered defensively. Like, Khalil Ware filled a lot of the Bam Adebayo role, where he was just protecting the rim, kind of guarded, kind of stuck in the paint, just getting blocks, altering shots. And they like couldn't really figure out a way around that. And I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, like, okay, like, so defensively, it looks like you can't make adjustments. And then offensively, like, it was a personnel switch out for not as good as a defender. And you still, like, you were kind of doing the same thing. Listen, they won the game. I thought they were going to win the game. All credit to Charlotte. They're going to go on and they're going to possibly play Detroit in the first round. And I think they'll actually probably take a couple games off Detroit if they do get into that game, just because of how well they score the ball. But listen, this was the Heat for the ceiling this year. We knew we were going to be in the play-in. Earlier in the season, beginning of the season, I probably thought we would have won a game. We're in the lottery now. AJ DeBonsa sweepstakes. That's what it's about. But great game of basketball, because this is the one thing I'll say, just to kind of wrap it up. I don't know if we're going to talk Portland Phoenix as well, but a lot of people really, really clown the play-in, and I get it, especially at its inception, things like that. But that's my fault. Probably should have turned that mic off. But this was, whether it was play-in, whether it was regular season, whether it was playoffs, this was phenomenal basketball. It was so much fun. It was a great game. It had everything, and that's what it's about.
This entire show is like,
I'm sorry,
preview of an old folks home.
Yeah. Also, the Hornets, their two best shooters went 2 for 22 from 3.
Colin Knippel went Klay Thompson in the play-in.
He went
Montana direct.
He went 0-6, like that. 2 of 12 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3, and then LaMelo. I don't even know what sort of threes he was shooting. He was shooting Tyler Hero sorts of threes over there. Which, by the way, Tyler Hero, what are we doing? Those were some terrible fadeaway shots in there. He saw what Kobe White did and said, "I need to do that."
Well, he did hit one.
He did hit one. It was sick. And then
big one.
And then he was like, "I can go again." And
that
did
was
not.
stupid.
That was dumb.
He had the lane. Pele, terrible pass by Pele, but he had the lane.
He had the lane, and instead, no, hold on. I gotta take another one of these. It was not good.
Beerman says can't be wild card number 1, because if we get points, a locked in division don't get points. Utah keeps wild card 1, but they could be wild card 2. Yeah, here's the thing: they're going to play the Los Angeles Kings. Anaheim is going to be the wild card. Oilers, Kings, Vegas will win the division, and they'll play Anaheim. No, they'll play Utah, Mammoth, and Colorado will get Anaheim. That's how it's going to go. And I know you don't want to play LA. I kind of, I'm like the Justice League when it comes to sports. If the Oilers want to make it hard on themselves, and they, like, LA might not win the series. In fact, they likely won't win the series, but they'll take a piece of flesh. They'll, somebody will be hobbled after the Kings series. The Oilers, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. At the beginning of the year, right before the season started, they were running lines, and they had Mangiapane spending some time up on the top line. They were looking at Leon having a pretty solid second line, everything. And then just before the season starts, the coach says, I'm going to play Draisaitl with McDavid. And they started 1-0-1. So, it was better than it was 1-3-1 the previous year. However, I would like just one time, the manager, the coach, and the players, the star players, to line up and agree all through training camp, all through the first part of the season, and then all through the rest of the season. Let the managers manage, the coaches coach, and the players play. God. All right. There was also another play-in yesterday. Do we want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I guess we better. Listen, Portland, I don't think they're... Well,
You were right.
Yeah, no, called it. Listen,
I was wrong.
Dude, it
Well, there's
was...
some honesty.
That was Josh.
Yeah. Danny Avila, man. He gets downhill. Like, he gets downhill, and he doesn't really have a bag. His thing is just predicated on speed and power. But he had a bag on that shot that won the game, the Euro step into the lane. Like, that's a really tough move to do. And it's something players don't really think of because you're, going into traffic the way he did it. It was actually he Euro stepped the defender coming over. So that's what kind of made it work. But, like, that's a tough move to think of in the moment. He had 41. It was a good game. It was a good game. And Phoenix is going to have a chance to play for the 8th seed, but Phoenix has a little bit of a will, like outside of Dylan Brooks, who's just a dog, love him or hate him. They have a little bit of a we're going to roll over and die mentality. And that's not always the best thing. Whereas Portland's going to actually throw punches and compete.
Well, I like that punches and compete part.
Flames versus Canucks, essentially.
Yeah, well, man, they played some great series. There's no doubt about that. All right, tonight, let's talk a little bit about 76ers Magic. You expect the 76ers to win?
Who's you? Which you are you talking to?
You may not be able to see my eyes, but I wasn't looking at Josh, which meant I was looking at you.
We are, by the way, like, I don't know. We can stop talking basketball if you would like, because I think we're going to do a lot on talking with Declan.
But look, we didn't have an Oilers game last night. We definitely have the lines. We are definitely going to talk about the team. But there were play-ins that people were interested in. So we'll have to take a break. But I'd like to, but we don't have to talk about it again until declinations.
The Magic should win, but they won't. And listen, if you didn't watch the Magic this season, which I'm assuming is a lot of you, let me break it down for you. Better roster loses game. You just watched all 82 games of the Magic this year in that 1 second blurb. And I feel like it's going to be the same thing tonight. Like, Philly has their problems. No Joel. It's a home game. I don't know what Tyrese Maxey is going to look like in it. But yeah, like I cannot trust Orlando. They have given no one any reason in 82 games to trust them.
My daughter, who's a Magic fan, she said, "Dad, it'll be a heartbreak. I just don't know how it's going to end."
Yeah, well, it's going to end in an L. They're worse with their best player on the floor. But technically,
crazy.
maybe. In an ideal world, Paolo Banchero is their best player, but it's probably Franz Wagner.
And
so
then
they're going to lose.
Right. And then we do have one other game tonight. Warriors Clippers.
Going away. I have no doubt in my mind that this is like a monster Clippers win.
Monster seems a little generous, but yeah, Warriors. They're bad. Listen, what'd they win? 37 games this year? Like, they're not good.
No,
So.
The Warriors are not good. Steph was hurt throughout the year, but also Pods knows how to drop 30 now. So maybe I was being a little hasty, but no, I'd take the Clippers every day of the week and twice on Sunday in this matchup.
All right, it's 12:17 on the way. We've got Kevin McCurdy. We also have declinations coming up, as you heard, just lots of basketball coming up at 1:40 today. Straight ahead, rumors. We'll give you the Oilers lineup and some idea about some injured players who may or may not play in the various early rounds in the National Hockey League, specifically Dallas. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Rooter says 1 plunge, 2. What's this? A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow. People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Step up to the plate with confidence this season with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your trusted experts in baseball. From the diamond to the dugout, get the latest from top brands like Mizuno, Victus, Marucci, Rawlings, and Easton. Suit up with new cleats, helmets, pants, and don't forget the gloves, because champions know that every catch counts and every play matters. At St. Albert's Source for Sports, they know the game and they have the gear to prove it. St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for baseball gear over 35 years.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. They're having truck month there right now. Check it out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Another gorgeous day, another beautiful spring afternoon that we join you. I believe it was mid-February when I declared it spring, and every day since has been simply lovely. Make sure to turn your lights on, give a lot of room. I think everything has melted or will be melting on the main thoroughfares, but you just never know. Time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. I mentioned the Oilers lines. I'll do it again because I think this is a big story. There are players who haven't been on the ice in real NHL action in some time, including Zach Hyman, who will line up with Connor McDavid and Matthew Savoy. We've seen that trio before. They play very well. Nuge is in the middle between Podkolzin and Roslovic on the second line. Third line is Szymanski with Doc and Frederick. That line is going to play the daylights out of the opposition, and everybody's going to know they're there. Henrique with Kapanen and Lazar. And then an extra line, Draisaitl skating, not obviously going to play, with Howard and Owen Michaels. So it looks like, for all intents and purposes, you're going to get your Zach Hyman final game of the year fix tomorrow night. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse, Murphy, Wallman, Emberson, Stashny, the extra, and looks like Connor Ingram. And nobody on planet Earth can be surprised. Connor Ingram will be in goal. Various NHL pieces of news flooding in. It's sort of weird because the NHL season is pretty much over. So you've got playoff talk, but you also have, seeding talk, which we can get into. You can text us. I would love to hear which team you'd like to play if you're the Edmonton Oilers. Which one is the one that you go, man, we got to play these guys? And I know a lot of you are going to think Anaheim, but maybe you just like one more time with the Los Angeles Kings, just because you didn't get a good look the previous 400 times. You know what I mean? The Stars expect Miro Heiskanen back for game 1 of the playoffs. Rupe Hint is questionable for the entire first round. We know that it's a little bit vague with Leon Draisaitl here, and you're going to get a lot of that over the next little while. The fog of war that is the playoffs is something that we have to endure. We wish there was something a little more specific, but that's how it goes. Already talk of what's available in free agency. If you haven't looked, it's not great. Not great. And we had a discussion about Darnell Nurse earlier in the week about, if you want to offload Nurse and go out into free agency and find an upgrade, you might want to look at the list first, because there may not be the kind of thing that you would expect ordinarily in a year. The salary cap going up has allowed teams to sign their guys. And, the Oilers signed Bouchard, at the beginning of the year? McDavid's got a 3-year deal. Leon's here for one forever. I think they're going to end up signing probably Murphy. Definitely they're going to sign Connor Ingram. And then we'll see from there. There's some guys you'd like to have come back, but it's a matter of money, and they have a tremendous amount of cap room. But I think that this market, the Edmonton market, people spend a lot of money, and I wouldn't be surprised. Darryl Cates always spends to the cap. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the prices don't go up and the cap may not be reached by the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see how that goes. I mean, we're a little ways away from there, so we can kind of discuss it as time goes on. But that, to me, that's an interesting piece. Everyone, that's you talking. After this show, as mostly a joke, I'm going to take Orlando and the Raps to win their series, LOL. Well, the Raptors are interesting, right? Yeah, Raptors are an interesting team, I think. A year ago, they were ahead by a year. Maybe they're behind by a year now, but I think they're interesting at the very least.
No, I think they're going to get walked. I think they've far outplayed their expectations this year, and it shows. Their only 3 wins against teams ranked ahead of them essentially are against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and all those games were played before James Harden was a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Famed playoff choker, James Harden. However, if he's choking in the first round against a far inferior opponent in the Raptors, IMO, we got more problems to discuss.
I got one for you.
Sure.
I'm picking the Raptors to win that series.
Oh!
Wow.
Yep.
And
I just
fight is
thought
on.
about it real hard.
I've been thinking about it hard too. And the thing that I always come back to is they cannot shoot the 3 ball at all. They actually won more games this year where they shot like 22% from 3 than they did where they shot 40% from 3. Because when they're shooting at a high volume, they cannot make 3-point shots. And Brandon Ingram, I think he's a liability on the defensive end of the ball. However, Colin Murray-Boyles makes up for a lot of that. But just watching the team, I just don't think they have it. I think they're far too reliant on the inside game. And now you have to go up against Evan Mobley.
So how, on a scale of 1 to 10, are the play-ins just irritating because you want to get going on the playoffs, or do you guys enjoy those games?
No, I like them.
Yeah, I don't mind them either. They're a little
dumb, but
they're an appetizer at times.
Yep.
Because a game like last night, that's where you're like, oh yeah, like you sort of have this like single elimination is fun. And so it's right after March Madness. So it is a 1-game elimination, whatever. You're like, okay, like games like that are fantastic. And then you have other ones that are an absolute snooze fest.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, Buccaneers ownership willing to extend quarterback Baker Mayfield, which tells you that they're not Cleveland. And that's a good thing.
Not a bad idea, extending Baker.
I mean, I know he's not a perfect quarterback. I know he's not tall. I know all of those other things. And I know, you can sign Connor Murray for a long time, and then it doesn't work out because of injury. But, at least have somebody better, Cleveland, before you move him.
Yeah, you'd like to. I mean, they thought they did, essentially, because right after that, they made the Deshaun Watson deal, right? So they thought they did. However,
well, get it right.
If Cleveland thinks they're making the right move, guess what? It's the wrong move.
Yeah. Smarten up, Cleveland. Jeez. This text come in, and it reminded me of this story. Ranger Nick says, go after the Columbus players. Did you guys see Rick Bowness, who's been around since
tore into them?
Christ was a kid. Mm-hmm. He, that's rare. That is rare.
It's not rare. Pete DeBoer just did it last year.
No, it's rare. This is really rare. This is an old-time guy being an old-time guy. And he just leveled them. And the organization has to pay attention to it because this is not a winning team. This is not a winning franchise.
They deserved every rip they took from Rick Bowness, too, by the way. Now, the one thing I would say about Columbus is, like, let's just be honest. They're in a different situation than Edmonton or Colorado or Dallas or Tampa. Like, they have one superstar player. So it's a little bit tougher to expect 110% hockey from 65% guys every night. But that said, talking about the culture and how it needs to change, like 100%. We did our top 5 worst situations, and Josh had them in there, and rightfully so. Like, they're going nowhere. Like, they're not, like, it's almost like they're stuck in the mud and going nowhere at the same time.
But Bonus says all you got to do is look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways.
Bad.
Holy Hannah! I look at the stat sheet every night. That's impossible. I mean, I don't even know. I didn't look at their stat sheet, so I don't even know if that's true. But the coach is saying it. Man, that's brutal. Just brutal. DeBoer knew he was leaving, so he could let it rip. This is a guy who came back to try to help a team, and if I'm the ownership, man, I take that to heart. I do. That is a guy who's a veteran hockey guy telling you this thing needs to be torn down.
It's something for sure. I think there's sort of conflicting reports. It's looking like about what Zach Werenski had to say about his comments this morning. Some are saying that the two were fine when they spoke, and then Aaron Portsline, friend of the station, says that they disagree with Rick Bowness's impassioned, they don't care observation.
Well, I mean, when you've lost that much and you had a chance and then you go down the stretch looking like that, there's going to be a lot of anger and bitterness, and I totally get that.
This is also from Aaron Portsline. Players are drawing a distinction between Bowness's not hating to lose and what they feel is more learning how to win. Captain Boone Jenner taking questions now, also taking issue with the they don't care narrative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's gone. So, like, it's a drive-by fruiting, right, from the coach, but that's a really disappointing way for their season to end.
Do you see a world where both happen at the same time? They're like, all right, Rick, thanks for the half a season. We don't need you to come back. And he's like, that's fine. I'm prepared to go and swing on my porch swing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired. And then they also go, we're blowing it up. Like we're trading away the core.
Well, I think that if they've got some players who've been there for some time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in the season where we all thought Werenski was going to the Norris and they were going to make the playoffs, and it was a great, like Buffalo is now.
Yep.
So I think you have to, your hockey people have to tell you, okay, we're close. Let's not blow this up. But if they don't, then I wouldn't trade for picks or anything, but you might have to change a few pieces.
Absolutely.
And if you were going to trade some of those top end guys, you'd get the moon.
So here's my in a weird world, do they capitalize on the season that Zach Werenski just had and said, call up a team like the San Jose Sharks and say, hey, you want Zach Werenski?
Jeez, they would get a lot of those young players.
Yeah. So congratulations, Michael Misa. Pack your bags. You're moving to Ohio.
It's a very interesting thought. I can't answer it because I don't know where Columbus is, but that franchise has to win, or they're going to be moving to Oakland or wherever.
The franchises don't move to Oakland now; they move out of Oakland.
No,
come on, keep it straight.
Listen,
Zach
Oakland
Werenski.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I interrupted.
No, go ahead, Zach Werenski.
He's young enough where I don't know if we're making those. Like, he's not young, but he's young enough where I don't know if we're making those calls where we move him for a haul of young players.
That's a good point.
He might not fit the timeline of someone who's 21, but he's young enough that he can still be a serviceable player by the time they get there.
But this is maybe your last chance, Texaco, to trade him.
That's also fair. That's also more than fair.
And so you're like, I guess this is the problem, though. The Oilers were at several points where they needed to change management, and they brought in Chiarelli, and then they brought in Ken Holland, and now they brought in Stan Bowman. And I will tell you, I'm not sure they would have been better off just keeping Craig McTavish. because McTavish did make mistakes. He did let Jeff Petrie walk. That was a mistake.
I mean,
But he also drafted Leon Draisaitl. So, I think McTavish is a smart guy, and he did learn on the job. He didn't know everything when he got there. I think when you bring in a veteran guy, I think each and every one of the fellows who've come in here, whether it be Chiarelli or Holland or now Bowman, there's such an urgency to win. Bowman is the first guy who said, God, you guys, we can't play 40-year-olds all year. We got to get some youth in here. And they finally did it with Matt Savoy. And Emerson's a younger guy, and Podkolzin's a younger guy. But I mean, for years and years and years, this team, and look, Holland ended up losing, or Holland and Bowman ended up losing Broberg and Holloway, which really hurt this organization. But I think they've recovered pretty well. I'm just looking at the Columbus lineup and how many players that you'd go, man, this guy would get you quite a bit. And there's some interesting names here. They've always had an interesting team.
Another thing I'll add, just because, like, in theory, we're blowing up the Jackets right now, is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, we haven't decided how we're blowing them up.
Yeah,
Are we trading Werenski for a 3 years younger guy who's a stud, or
or what's happening? But an inconsequential move, essentially, that they could make, that I think in a way sort of helps the Jackets, but also not really, is this is something the Flames Nation guys were talking about. Sharangovich for Monahan, straight up.
Go Monahan back home.
Bring Monahan back to the city of Calgary. The Flames need some center depth. And then also, Sharangovich has got a nice little shot on him. It's not bad. But
yeah, keep selling that horse, buddy.
It's not that
really,
bad.
Wow.
It's not that bad. But they need some winger help also.
Yeah. By the way, in baseball, another young player, Kevin McGonigal, signed by the Detroit Tigers. These contracts for young players, they're buying the heart of their careers for big money. 8 years, $150 million. This is a young guy. They're flying through some UFA seasons. The reason they're doing it is they're envisioning a salary cap. I guarantee it, because this is how you're signing value deals under a salary cap. They've done it with several different guys. Connor Griffin was signed. Now it's McConaughey. There have been others recently. That's what they're headed for. These contracts indicate we won't have baseball next year.
It's a clear sign, because they're the cheap teams that are handing out these contracts.
Damn straight they are, because they know what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our number one selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Looking for auto parts without the dealership price tag? You'll save big here at Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlaw. From engines and alternators to doors and glass, we carry quality tested used parts at unbeatable prices. Why spend thousands when you can spend hundreds? Keep your car and your budget running strong with Ed's Auto Salvage. I'm Lisa, inviting you to stop in soon or visit us online. We offer province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton. EdsAutosalvage.com.
You started wearing it to guys' night.
Nice toque, you hoser.
Then you started wearing it to work.
Nice toque, you hipster.
But the truth is, you're not a hoser or a hipster. You're just trying to hide your hair loss. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and for over 2 decades, I've used the latest techniques to help thousands save their hair, including my own. Come see me today to explore your options. By the time it warms up enough to take off the toque, you could have a head of hair you won't want to hide. Go to drvanceelliott.com today.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. Lots of texts coming in about the Edmonton Oilers. Hey, Lowetide, don't you think we need to have a mix of youth, old, and veterans to win the Cup? Last year, we had a good mix, and we were almost there from Lokesh. I thought they didn't have the young legs. I think that was a bit of a concern, and they didn't have the depth. Honestly, they did not have the depth that you need, I think, to win a Stanley Cup. Now, they had some injuries. Matthias Ekholm was not 100% in the last 2 games of the final. I don't think Evan Bouchard was 100%. They had real issues, and they had to make choices that weren't going to be great either way. That is a fact. But I like the defense better this year in that I think Murphy's a much better choice for Darnell Nurse on the second pairing. Wallman is pretty healthy. The top pair is fine. They look reasonably healthy. I was worried about Ekholm until the other night when I saw him play just a really, really solid, rugged game. So happy to see that. And they're playing really fantastic defense, even without Draisaitl and without Hyman. They were playing the last 10 games of the year. They were suppressing the opposition offense. They were allowing about maybe just a little over 2 goals against per 60 at 5-on-5. Man, if they can do that, and it's harder because you're playing the world when you're in the regular season, and now you're playing better teams in the playoffs. So it's really hard. But if they can suppress like that, then I think this team could win the Stanley Cup, even with the youth. But I think you did need more youth last year because the pace of play at times, the Oilers were a little bit exposed by that Florida team who, I mean, Florida wasn't necessarily faster, but they took more chances. Marchand was like taking all kinds of chances because they had the Oilers bottled in. They knew what the Oilers were going to do. They were reading their email. This year, I think the Oilers have hopefully gotten a plan. The coach has one more year experience. Let me ask you guys: is there a team? I know Anaheim's the likely choice, but of all the teams they could play, is there one that you would prefer or be more interested in? Like LA, I know a lot of people just won't have an interest in it, but is there a team that you like?
Well, first of all, like LA, I think they would beat LA. I think they're much better. But LA is playing. I know they just lost to Vancouver. but they're playing some really good hockey. Like they've been really, really hot. Like that defensive system they have, I know it's super boring. I know no one likes it, but they got a couple guys who can pop off and score too. Like I don't think they would win, but LA is not like some rollover, I don't believe, especially the way they're playing of late. Now, that being said, Josh just got a nosebleed.
Oh my God.
Hope he's okay.
Do we need a nurse here?
I think he's had. Listen, we're going to adjust on the fly. I would like to see Anaheim. I think Anaheim is the most winnable matchup. They have horrible team defense. I think they're way too young and inexperienced. There is also the old adage that isn't even really an adage because it's just true. The game ramps up so much in the playoffs and it gets so much faster, so much more physical. And people are talking about Radko Gudas like, oh, what if he goes knee on knee with Connor? Yeah, I don't know, man. What if Adrian Kempe goes knee on knee with Connor McDavid?
Well,
you know
that's
what
the
I mean?
whole
Like,
thing about. That's why I hate LA, man.
Radko Gudas is more likely, sure, but you get what I'm like. It could happen with anybody, and I'm not saying that to say like that's not kind of his reputation, but whatever. I think Anaheim is just so beatable. The team defense is so porous. Their goaltending hasn't been great. Yes, they have some good, fun young players who can score a little bit, but they're just way too young. They're way too inexperienced. They're happy to be there. Getting to the playoffs is an accomplishment for them. Winning a series is just extra, and I don't think they could win a series against the Oilers.
By the way, with Josh's nosebleed, it tells me that there's something you should know about me. I faint at the sight of blood. So you could be doing.
Do you actually?
Yeah, no, I do. It's a thing.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and there's a whole thing about blood that I won't get into. But when I talk about it, or when you talk about a time when your blood was gushing out or whatever, I there's a chance I'll fall and hit my bulbous head on the floor. So you should be aware of that.
Okay.
It hasn't ever come up before, but that's what you're dealing with. You thought you were dealing with one problem, but now it's like one more problem with Lowetide. A little squeamish that way. Here's what I think. I think they could handle Anaheim. They will beat LA, but somebody important will get hurt. I think those things are all true. And I also think that Colorado would be just the worst scenario. And it would be kind of cool to win the division, though.
They kind of listen. Colorado, that's tough, man. No one wants to play Colorado first round. And I know they got absolutely hosed 8-1 on home ice on a Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. That's tough. They also went to their barn and beat them and then played them really, really tough with no Hyman and Draisaitl. Now, I know there was no Makar. I know there was no Manson. I know there was no Kadri, but they get up for Colorado.
Oh, they do. They do. But you'd prefer not to do that.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me. And I don't think they win that series, unfortunately. I think most people would probably be in line with me there. But they get up for them, man. Utah's the series. They beat Utah for fun since they've become the Mammoth outside of the last game. But Utah's the one that actually hold on. They could kind of shock you and step on the gas.
But one thing the Oilers have as an advantage is if they can just land in the Pacific Division playoffs, they will have an easier route than any team in the Central. Because the Central are just it's the group of death. Pardon my French. It is. So you want to stay out of that. Colorado is too good. Don't want them in the first round. Stanley, I think everybody agrees with you. You were saying something?
No, well, it was just going to be a tail on that the fact Minnesota and Dallas have to play each other first round sucks for those two.
Well, they should fix that. 1 through 8.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, come on, man.
And 1 through 8, let's be clear. Jason's outlined the numbers a lot. It's not going to change a lot, but it is going to change.
It'll change
Minnesota
enough
Dallas first round series. Yeah.
It'll change enough to make a difference in a real material way, as the kids like to say. So I'm all in favor of that. I genuinely am. Lowetide, I've been saying for years we would have been better off keeping McTavish. He was a winner as a player and almost got us there as a coach. Wonderful permutations of what ifs from Conrad. Big word, Conrad, for sports radio, but we appreciate it. I will say this, that I think McT was as a coach, I think everybody who was in the Olagosphere, I was more observer and learner than I was contributor, but everybody who followed along and talked about it, a lot of what people were riffing on when the Olagosphere sort of invented, or moved analytics further, on places like Reverend Oil Fans and MC79 Hockey. A lot of what they were talking about was riffing off what McTavish was doing and then saying in media avails. He was a perfect coach to follow because he would explain what he was thinking. And he had, at 5-on-5, he was very detailed. He was a brilliant 5-on-5 coach. Now, when he became a GM, I think he did a lot of good things. He drafted Darnell Nurse. They needed a big stud defenseman. They drafted Leon Draisaitl. They needed a big center in the middle. But he also sent Jeff Petrie away. And in saying that, he sent Jeff Petrie away because he didn't want to sign everybody to $4 million defensively. And then Peter Straley turned around and traded for Adam Larson, who is, the kind of defenseman I think that McTavish wanted. I just don't think McTavish would have traded Taylor Hall to get him. That's my opinion. I think there was an opportunity missed there. It's long gone, but I agree with you. I think it would have been at least interesting to see how the alternate universe worked out. Funny how often I want to see an alternate universe these days. Razor from Bashaw, looking forward to watching the Canucks Oilers in person on Thursday. Can't make it much more exciting than having no clue who is playing in the first round. Hoping Hyman and Savoy help McDavid get his 50 goals. With Leon and Zach coming back, this team is peaking and getting the right time. What his future looks bright going forward. I'd like to see Podkolzin score 20 too. That would be nice.
He's one away from that, right?
Yeah, he's got 19. Are you okay?
I'm alive. Yeah.
No.
Shout out to Danny in the text line, Danny Matthews, who sent in the Ralph Wiggum. I wouldn't get so many nosebleeds. The doctor said I wouldn't get so many nosebleeds if I just could sticking my fingers up there, which is funny because I did sit here and do this one, which
Right.
is what triggered the.
Yeah. Did the before teacher yell at you too?
No.
I thought I was very helpful when I went, what, do we need a nurse around here? I thought that was,
I've been getting,
particularly.
I don't know. I have some sort of condition or something because I always get nosebleeds. Some people get hernia or not hernias. I mean, they do get them, but migraines. That's
Right.
the word.
Oh, yeah. Migraines are a thing.
Head hernias, when the pressure changes and stuff.
Yeah.
For me, humidity, when it changes, I get a lot more bloody noses when it's a lot more dry.
I did tell Declan this, and I will tell you this now. When people start bleeding, I faint. It's a thing I do. And so if I start, feeling lightheaded and my head is twirling, you just try to stop my head from hitting the ground.
Do I have blood on my teeth, Al?
No.
Okay, good.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think Pods will be able to stick his 20th.
Yeah.
Especially because do you think he stays on the power play with Hyman coming back?
No. I think you got to
moves
get
out.
Hyman back in there because they just weren't effective.
Fair enough.
Lowetide, if you could go back and redraft 2013, have a choice between Darnell and Rasmus Ristolainen, who would you take now? Drafting Leon Draisaitl, it wasn't exactly a very hard pick. No, but the Oilers have had easy picks in the past, Shane Doan, and not made them. I'll give credit to the general manager and the scouting staff. 2013 was weird. I wanted the guy Calgary took. Do you remember who Calgary took?
In the first round?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Back then I used to do a top 150, and I had this guy so high. I loved him. I thought he was going to be
Elias
brilliant.
Lindholm? No, because I know he was drafted by the Canes, and that probably wasn't the right year.
He
So
went
I think,
6th overall. Darnell went 7th overall.
Oh,
Calgary took him.
Can I give him a hint?
Sure.
He's come up today.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it was Sean Monahan.
Yeah, Sean Monahan. And I was like, I waxed poetic about Sean Monahan every day on the blog, and then Calgary took him. And then Nurse came up, and I feel like I'm always the defender of Nurse, and I don't feel like that's the right place because I'm also critical of Darnell Nurse. But I think that he gets a extremely bad rap. Last year he was very good. This year they did not have a good Alec Regula was not a good partner for him. Troy Stetcher was, and they lost him on waivers. Wallman was on his offside. They got a guy now, and he's playing brilliantly. One day I hope the Oilers win because I think fans who've never seen the Oilers win have earned that, and they deserve that. And so does the owner, and so does all the managers. So do all the managers, and the players do. But My hope is that they win the Stanley Cup on home ice and that Darnell Nurse grabs the Stanley Cup and people just give the loudest, most beautiful ovation. I know it's an old man's silly dream, but he's bled for you. He's played hard for you. He plays big minutes for you. And I think Darnell Nurse, in a lot of ways, is the one guy who didn't get traded away, like Stuart Skinner and others who've been Tom Pody, who've kind of been the focus of a lot of people's ire. He's hung in, he stayed here, and it would be so nice if he had that opportunity to win the Stanley Cup in Edmonton and hear the cheers. I would like that. Don't know that it's going to happen, but I would like it. All right. 12:54 on the way. We have Kevin McCurdy. You guys are going to talk. What are you going to talk about on Declinations about the basketball?
We're gonna break down all the series, all the playoff matchups, give our predictions. We'll have to make it obviously kind of quick because there's 8 series, some matchups not determined. But
also, Josh talks a lot, so that you really have to factor that in.
Yeah, but some of these are going to be pretty quick.
And I've got a stutter, kind of. So
no, not really.
Did I?
You know what we could do is try to get out of the break at 1:35 early. If Lowetide could
Your
shut the hell
show.
out.
It's whatever you want.
I'm like a loose cannon.
Listen,
Who
if we
knows
don't
what
have
I'll
to
do?
break down the 1-8 matchup between the Thunder and whoever it is they're going to play and say Thunder in 4.
So not very thorough.
I don't know how much more thorough you need to be with the Thunder.
Okay, Kevin McCurdy on the way. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Time for an update with Declan Krueger.
The Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right, homes or businesses. Visit new showroom 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week, Saturday hours from 10 to 2. And you can visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. Scores right now in the MLB, the end of the 8th. Orioles and D-backs tied 5-5. Guardians and Cardinals tied 1-1. And the Red Sox up big on the Twins 6-1. A little bit later today, we will, of course, see the Blue Jays in Milwaukee to take on the Brewers, and it's going to be Dylan Cease on the mound in that one. NBA playing, we'll see Orlando and Philadelphia at 5:30 and Golden State, LA, the Clippers, that is at 8. In the NHL today, action will get going with 3 games at 5, Stars and Sabres, Rangers and Lightning, and Red Wings at the Florida Panthers. Late game, we'll see the Seattle Kraken in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. News around the sporting world as Asia Wilson, the WNBA's first ever 4-time MVP, is signing a 3-year, $5 million Supermax contract to return to the Las Vegas Aces. I'm Declan Krueger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440. The KJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward.
Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
It's here. The Ford, it's a big Not yet. The Ford, it's a big deal. Oh, guys, just wait. The Ford, it's a big deal event is on. Really? Now. Hurry in to lease a 2026 F-150 STX with black adherence package from $237 bi-weekly at 0% APR for 36 months with $54.90 down. That's like $119 a week. The Ford, it's a big deal event. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots, and oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
I'm getting drunk on a plane. I bet the fella on the out thought I was crazy. So I tipped your picture to the seat back right beside me. Now I've got empty many bottles filling both our trays. I'm getting drunk on a plane.
It's 1 o'clock. This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's Truck Month, featuring the best deals of the year. Ask about 0% financing plus extra discounts for Costco members. WolfGMCBuick.com. All right. I had planned on asking very intelligent questions around the final standings and the opening series for the Edmonton Oilers. And I got a headache because there's just no way to talk about a specific series right now. So we are joined by our friend Kevin McCurdy, and we wish him a happy day and ask him in 30 minutes or less to explain what might happen to the Edmonton Oilers over the next 48 hours.
Somewhere between yes and yes. Is that a short enough explanation?
Gary must be thrilled because this is like different shades of gray. It's a pillow fight, but everybody's in it, and the Oilers could play any number of opposition from the easy to the most difficult, and they do have some say in it. And I mean, Vancouver's not exactly a tough out, but on any given night, this is if I'm the Oilers, I kind of think, man, we probably left a few points out there. We should probably not let that happen again.
Yeah, I mean, the season's been what it is. They're gonna, go power sliding into it, backwards with tires squealing and still in the most Edmonton way possible. And I think we're sort of just along for the ride at this point. Not much they can do besides do their best to get that win to close the season out and see where it lands us.
The one thing I'll say is in the last 10 games, they've tightened up after that homestand that saw them play Florida and Tampa Bay at 5-on-5. They've really suppressed. They're averaging about, I think, just over 2 goals against per 60, which is, it sounds bad, but it's way better than it was. And I do feel like they, the trade deadline stuff has helped them. This does appear to a team that could, be a team that at least in the initial rounds is going to be highly competitive. Draisaitl coming back soon. Hyman coming back tomorrow night. But let's say they play Los Angeles. I feel like this is Groundhog Day, and we're all Bill Murray listening to "I Got You, Babe."
I mean, yeah, and the scene that comes to mind is grabbing the toaster from the lobby shortly thereafter, where it's I'm honestly kind of sick of playing the Kings. It's not so much to do with the Kings, it's not very exciting hockey. Yeah, I don't really want to play them again. It's not that I prefer Anaheim or I prefer LA. I think both teams are beatable. I'm just sick of playing the Kings.
Well, also when you play the Kings, somebody's going to get hurt. Like they on the way out, if they're losing, they just kind of take a round out of you. That happens, and it's we've seen that with Leon Draisaitl and others over the years. That's no fun at all. I think most people feel like Anaheim is the ideal opponent. I don't think that anybody fears Anaheim or thinks they'll lose to LA or the Mammoth. But the team is the must to avoid is the Colorado Avalanche. The odds of the Oilers not getting something out of the Vancouver game are very low. But for me, I look at the way this team started the year, where they were the general manager goes to free agency, signs a bunch of wingers. The coach, is putting Mangiapane in one spot and looking at, other players here, trying to get Ike Howard and Savoy into it. And then just like at the last minute says, we're going to run with Draisaitl and McDavid on the top line. I would like to see the owner, manager, coach, and players on the same page, off season, July 1 training camp and have a plan and stick to it. I feel like they abandoned it early. And they were playing catch up. They could not win 3 in a row this year. One of the reasons I think is that they didn't have a chance really to follow the process that they had initially started in training camp.
That sort of thing with this team kind of baffles me, and it really, especially at the beginning of the year, did point to a real disconnect. I'm not really sure what the thought process there with stacking Leon and Connor together was that early in the season. I mean, in some ways it's proven fruitful because they've got guys that have been playing the center position lineup for some time now. With Nuge currently assuming the second line position, we've got the newcomer Josh Szymanski in 3C. Gotta say, I've been relatively impressed with him, especially on the defensive side of his game. And that line overall with Colton Dock and Trent Frederick is, they're running almost 56% expected goals for. So not faring so well on the second line current arrangement, which is Podkolzin, Nuge, and Roslovic, I believe. That's a line that's sort of analytically underwater, and we'll see how long it holds together for.
Well, and I think that's the fact is this team has some, Hyman's playing tomorrow night, but we don't know about Leon Dickinson. Jason Gregor just tweeting out an hour ago from Chris Knobloch saying that he'll meet with the doctors again on Friday. We'll have a discussion about what is best. I want him back. He's desperate to play. That sounds to me in Oilerese that they're going to, maybe give him some painkillers and he's going to play. And we've seen that before. I like Szymanski in the middle, and I like Frederick Dock. I know Szymanski's a rookie, and coaches are they like to fade the rookie, but I'd rather have Szymanski than Dickinson if Dickinson's not 100%.
Absolutely. I had heard that the Dickinson injury is, it's not ideal. It's not super bad, but it's also something that just takes time and would require a significant amount of pain management in order to play through. It's not a structural injury so much as it is a tissue injury. Again, I'm not a doctor, so don't want to speculate any more than that. And then I'm a little bit worried about the Jones situation. It sounds like he's going to be out quite a while.
Which is, it sounds ridiculous. For much of the year, he wasn't a factor, but he definitely was. And I want to compliment you, Kevin McCurdy, for recalling the 2007 coming of age teen buddy movie Superbad in that last comment. Appreciate that. One thing that we can say about this team right now is they enter the Vancouver game and then the playoffs. We know who the starter is, and in recent days, he's played well. I think Connor Ingram has grabbed this job. I think one of the first priorities in the offseason will be signing him, and that goes before they even play a playoff game. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, sooner that deal, at least in the backup role, gets done, the better. I don't know what they're going to do with Tristan Jarry. I mean, it's such a hot and cold thing. It feels like an ad nauseum of Jack Campbell all over again. We have term, you have contract AAV. It was kind of a mistake that didn't need to be made, which this team is prone to at times.
I get a sense that there was great frustration for most of the season from Oilers fans. The last 10 games or so have had people feeling a little more, confident in the structure of the team. That second pairing, Nurse and Murphy, seem to have buttoned down. Evan Bouchard has, reached a different level now. I think, the worries that people had in October, November are gone. Now, Mike Tyson said everybody's got a plan until you get, punched in the mouth, and I understand that. But going into the playoffs, the things that we've worried about constantly, really since 2015, which are defense, coverage, and goaltending, at least they seem to have a plan that is sticking, and even the little outlet passes aren't as foreboding or hopeless as those stretch passes were that resulted in icings and turnovers for much of the year.
Sure, but breakaways and shootouts and stuff sure are. Let's talk about defense for a second, because whilst Connor Murphy and Darnell Nurse have mostly formed a partnership that seems to work, I'm increasingly deeply concerned by Jake Wallman and Ty Emberson's results. I'll just give you an example here. 144 minutes together, 3 goals for, 6 against, for 33% actual goal share, and expected goals 3.86 versus 5.94 against, for 40% expected goals for. Corsi to match. Man, I don't know if that's going to be a pairing that we can ride into the playoffs. I don't know if it's Wallman's issue. I don't know if it's Emberson's issue. I don't know if it's a chemistry issue. I haven't looked at it closely enough to determine that. But if that continues, I strongly believe that the Oilers need to consider splitting Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard so that they can run 70% of their time on ice with one of those two guys on the ice. I think both of them are capable of driving their own pairings, and that will allow them some options that they don't currently have, like potentially Matthias Ekholm and Connor Murphy as a pairing, because Matthias Ekholm can actually pass the puck. There's a bit of a I hate to say malaise, or there's just a little bit too much deliberateness in terms of the defensive play from Nurse and Murphy to be moving the puck up ice, and that's the best way to play defenses, by not having to, especially with the way this team is. And I think Jake Wallman's been playing through some fairly significant injuries this year, in addition to maybe a small regression in his overall play. That contract concerns me, but I also believe that he has the capability to play through it and to rise back to what we signed him for. But I think splitting Ekholm and Bouchard should seriously be on the table sooner than later, even despite their stellar on-ice results. I think it's about shoring up the rest of the defense so much as it is about those two in particular.
So your concern is, it sounds to me your concern is both the second and third pairing then.
To a lesser extent, the second pairing from a goal suppression point of view is fine, but their puck movement is not, in my view, anyways. So that they're sawing off even on goal share and expected goal share. but it's just not moving up the ice fast enough. So I think you need to redistribute a little bit and think about splitting those up, because that allows you to do something with the Wallman and Emberson pairing, like potentially put Wallman with Bouchard or Nurse with Bouchard, and changes your outlook a little bit for the rest of your core.
Is your thought at all that the Stastny, Spencer Stastny, is unplayable, or is that an option as well? Maybe sliding Stastny in for whoever the unknown injured person is, or the struggling part of the Wallman-Emberson pairing?
I mean, we got him so that he could be in this lineup, and he played at a 7th defenseman level for quite a while before he was dropped from the lineup. That said, there's clearly a couple of guys that are banged up, and Stastny himself, I think, might have been banged up too, because when he first got here, he was quite good. So I wonder about them injecting him at some point. He hasn't played in a ridiculous number of games now. Yeah, like I think they honestly kind of have to think about letting Wallman or somebody like that take a seat for a game to play the last one out tomorrow, just to get him some ice time, not in the playoffs.
Kevin McCurdy is our guest on Sports 1440 in the Lowdown with Lowetide. I had a look at the Bakersfield Condors defense for the year, and Damian Carfagna, who still has not played in the NHL, college man, 23 years old, smaller guy, mobile, great skater, has some offensive upside, has been on the ice at even strength for 51 goals for and 39 against. By far the most impressive plus 12 among the forwards or defensemen in Bakersfield this year. The crime of it all is that, he's a defenseman and he has not played in the NHL yet. They have Alec Regula down there, and he's even 15 goals for and against. If you're picking a number 8 defenseman, and let's be honest, 8 defensemen may end up playing in the playoffs this year. That's just the deal. Do you consider trading, signing or calling up a Carfagna who's never played in the NHL? Do you consider calling up a Regula, or do you go with one of the defensemen who have both NHL and AHL experience? The Oilers have some of those cats as well.
I mean, both of those guys have been pretty impressive down in Bakersfield. I still think there's a player in Alec Regula. I know there's a lot of people who don't, but I think he has the brain to play at the NHL level. And if he's been working on his foot speed at all, I think that's maybe a situation that they can look at moving towards. I'm just pulling some numbers up here because I want to have a look. But I definitely think that Carfagna or Regular are your first 2 up. Atra Lepinen's had some good stuff going this season at times. I'm not really sure how the team plays it. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What's your sense? I've been pretty vocal on the show, and I've written about it. My sense is that I felt like they had to infuse youth, Podkolzin, Emberson, and then this year Savoy, and I'm going to keep pounding the Szymanski drum because I think he's earned the right to play as a regular, whether or not he does in the playoffs. I think next year he'll be a regular. I think they had to infuse youth for speed, but also for cap reasons. But I'm also aware that they don't have the veterans that they had a year ago and 2 years ago. My suspicion is they don't make the final this year. If you had to bet today, based on what you know, do you think this team is maybe better built for the long term, but in the short term will take a step back?
I think we're in that. I still have, and I've thought all season that we've been in a little bit of a transition period between, let's just call it GM philosophy. We're at the trailing edge of the Ken Holland era and at the introductory period of the Stan Bowman era. And I think that when you have those philosophy changes, that leads to some transition that is not necessarily easy to play through. I do think that the overall situation with this team is that they can go as far as that's their bodies will take them. I think they're quite banged up. I think that's a roster-wide issue in a lot of places that maybe even people don't consider. And, not to excuse injury, but you know, when your physical capability is diminished, you don't play as good a hockey. And they're still managing to keep fairly tight 5v5 defensive results, and they're playing smart hockey. It's just the offense has died off as they lost a 50-plus goal scorer in Zach Hyman and a, you know, absolute German juggernaut in Leon Draisaitl. So I think it's really about if they can stay healthy enough to make it deep into the playoffs more than any other single factor.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Thanks for this. Next time we talk next week, we will be in a playoff series. Don't know the name of the team yet, but thanks for this. Appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you next week.
No worries. Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCurdy, who always brings it. We appreciate what he brings. And I thought it was very interesting. He was talking about splitting up the top pairing. I don't think the coaching staff will do that. They usually want to go with what they know. And that's a pairing you can play 30 minutes a night. And you might end up playing Nurse and Murphy almost as much if the third pairing isn't working quite right. But as always, this is a team, just like every other one, that has great strengths and great flaws. The positive for the Oilers, two of those great strengths, Zach Hyman tomorrow night and Leon Draisaitl sometime apparently during round one, will reappear. And we're going to talk about that and injuries and who they're going to face and a little here and there, maybe even some baseball for you on the way. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana Juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvancelliot.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. It's truck month. They have their best deals of the year going on right now. I have to say that's probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite songs ever. That is such a beautiful song. I love Tracy Chapman. That song is beyond. It's in an other nether world with very few other songs. Brilliant tune.
Oh, it's absolutely on the Rushmore.
Right? God,
we're talking Fast Car. We're talking Rock the Casbah. We're talking Little Red Corvette. And I don't know what number 4
That's
is.
a really good list. I would have a Fast Car, Tumbling Dice by the Rolling Stones, the live version of Powderfinger by Neil Young, and maybe Days by the Kinks. I'd have to think about it. Everybody's list is going to be different. I don't even have a Emmylou Harris song in there. What am I thinking of?
This is just Mount Rushmore of greatest songs ever.
Yeah. Personal. Like, it's obviously going to be a personal choice. Yeah.
Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan.
No,
Fast Car,
mine was
Chris Chapman.
objective again. It was just the best. It was just the right
It
list.
is just the best.
Okay, but it's all personal.
Free Fallin', Tom Petty.
That's a great song.
It's a fantastic one. It might have to actually be on the Mount Rushmore of 4 greatest songs of all time.
I'm an American Girl guy.
I also prefer. I think I like American Girl more. It gets me a little amped up, but also Tom Cruise wasn't singing that in a car about Renee Zellweger. He was singing Free Fallin'.
For the first time I ever heard American Girl was on American Top 40 with Casey Kasem. I don't know if you guys ever heard that or not. Every Sunday night, it would be on the radio. We're counting down. We're Casey Kasem. And he'd do a long distance dedication about a dead dog. It was the beautiful thing. And I heard, and he goes, number 39, that's Tom Petty and America. And I'm like, oh my God, what a great song.
It's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
Love it.
The backup singers, totally key to that song.
Yeah. Hey, it played at the end of One Battle After Another. It
was also
I got to
on
tell you,
FM.
it got me amped up.
Yeah.
It was a perfect needle drop.
Isaac Howard and Quinn Hudson have been named to the 2025-26 AHL All-Rookie Team. So there you go. Congratulations to both. They will be playing in the National Hockey League for years, likely starting in the fall. Zach Hyman's back. That's your breaking news. When Gregor gets on the radio today, that's what they'll be talking about at the top. It's a hell of a run, I think, for the Edmonton Oilers. They do have to win tomorrow night. They probably have to win tomorrow night to avoid, a very difficult path to the Stanley Cup. But I don't think it's, I don't know what Vancouver, Vancouver is like. I mean, if they make the flight, it's a success. They're not exactly a team that is, like Calgary is an organized team. If it was Calgary, I'd go, man, I don't know, Calgary, they'd love to play spoiler. But
I mean, they technically did. They beat them 3 times this year.
Yeah, Calgary's tough. They're a tough out.
Handed the Oilers their first shootout loss of the year.
Yeah. John says, I've totally changed my view on Nurse. He plays a ton of minutes, and the new pairing is working. Also, I love that song, Past Car, from John. You bet. Me too. After Casey Kasem was followed up by Sunday Night Sex Show with Dr. Ruth. Yes. Dr. Ruth taught everybody a lot of things. I don't know. What was her last name? Westheimer. That's right. She would come on TV and just really just talk about things matter-of-factly. And I don't know about your generation, but our generation, all the all the adults were, at least in my house, they were like, yes, things happen, and here, have a Pepsi, But she would just talk about all the possibilities and all the things, and my God.
Yeah, I didn't have that specifically, I guess. I mean, my parents were still very go play outside, which was nice. Doesn't happen a lot anymore for other kids, which makes me sad for them.
When I was a kid, Saturday morning, I'd get up maybe 8:30, jump on my bike, and I don't know what time I would have had to come home Saturday night for my parents to worry about me.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
No. Emmylou Harris and Mark Knopfler doing Don't Worry is astounding from Bill. I agree. I just, Emmylou Harris is, first time I ever saw or heard her sing harmonies was with Linda Ronstadt on Heart Like a Wheel album. She sang the old Hank Williams song, Linda Ronstadt did, and the harmonies were Emmylou Harris on I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You. And from that moment forward, I have just loved Emmylou Harris. She sings like a bird. Love it. Karen doesn't like Emmylou Harris, but I do. I have to go outside to listen to Emmylou Harris now. The best was when people phoned in with their problems on Sunday Night Sex Show. You learned a lot. Yes. And I think you learned a lot about what was out there, which was for, maybe I was a little older than the regular group, was something like, you're like, oh my God, really? And she would show you what it was and how it worked. Am I saying too much?
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe a touch oversharing.
Us and Them, Pink Floyd. LT, remember Good Rockin' Tonight on late Fridays? Canadian Top 40. Epic show. Rowdy Roddy. I do. I remember 90 Minutes with a Bullet, which was on CBC Radio. I loved CBC. I still do. I think that the CBC, if we ever lose it, we will lose a part of this nation that is vitally important to my generation. And maybe we're the last one, who cares? But I listened to all of the music stuff I listened to. And there was a wine one too. I can't remember. Terry David Mulligan, a wine show that I listened to as well. Not wine as in I'm whining, but wine as in, there's wine here. I don't know. I think my friend Gord Whitehead, every once in a while I'll say something about wine and he'll text me like, why don't you come over and I'll tell you what's what? But honestly, if you're spending $27 on a bottle of wine because you want me to taste it, I got to tell you, I don't know the difference. And maybe that makes me the outlier of outliers of my generation. But,
So here's my question now.
Yeah.
Is $27 for a bottle of wine? Is that a lot?
No.
Is that okay?
That's the lower end.
Okay.
Yeah. You can spend a lot on a bottle of wine.
Because I know the Josh brand of wine. I'm not that one. You can buy they taste good from what I hear. I don't drink wine, but they're like $18 a bottle. It was super easy to get those as Christmas presents.
Here's the thing. You can buy a good bottle of wine for $20.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know you like the wine. You have to, be able to, maybe drive to 2 different liquor stores or whatever. But I'm telling you, there are people who spend, $6,000 on a bottle of wine and will open it up on Saturday night. I would never do that. If I had that bottle of wine, I would give it to somebody who really appreciated it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't know how you spend that much money on wine.
I don't like it. Everybody can live their life. I don't care what they do, but if you want me to appreciate something that costs $6,000, buy me the 7071 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Orr hockey card. That I would cherish. But we're all, individuals. Declan would like you to buy the Miami Heat and give them to him.
Wouldn't that be a gift, eh?
Wow.
That's actually Declan's ideal life, the Miami Heat owner.
Too stressful. Because I'm also player owner in this situation.
Licensed to print
Keep
money.
all that.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
keep all that up.
Totally
Yeah, I
get
would
that.
make some changes.
Yeah,
Does
that's
Spo
fair.
go to the front office? Does Spo stick around?
He does whatever he wants.
Okay.
He gets to do whatever he wants.
I was just curious.
Pat Riley might have a conversation.
Well, Pat Riley, how is he still going? Like, just can't somebody just
He's our prez.
get him into the car and drive him 500 miles into the slough and then get out and drive off and leave him there?
Still one of the best to ever do it. Can't do that to Pat
Does
Riley.
Florida not have like those places where the crocodiles are and you drive the
That's
funny looking
exclusively
buggy?
what I think Florida is known for.
Well,
actually,
just drive him out there.
It's funny because like there's no better place to retire than Florida, right? But it's also like, how do you go to Pat Riley
and say
it's over?
You don't. You
Yes.
drive them out to the Everglades and you say, "Oh, look, cows," and then you get in the car and you drive off.
You think Pat Riley doesn't have a black SUV following him at all times with armed guards? Come on,
no.
that car you put
have
him
you
in would
seen
never
that
get
guy?
outside of the casino.
Listen, he's one of the scariest looking individuals to ever
He is,
exist.
because when you get older, stuff happens.
He doesn't even have smile lines, and he won a lot. That's supposed to. He's supposed to have smile lines. He won a lot of stuff, guys, and he doesn't have smile lines. Like that shows you how intense Pat Riley is. He probably scared them off of his face.
I tell you, the coda on that guy is 50 years. He had success, and then he's just laying in the grass and buggering stuff up for the Miami Heat, and somebody's got to send him on his way in his Zumblezay.
Well, let's not pretend like it's all bad in Miami. Like
You're
Declan,
telling me he's
from
done
an outside perspective.
Okay, Pat Riley's done great work in the last 2 years. Tell me what it is.
Well, hold on. The last 2 years is like they had to reset from Jimmy's departure.
That's pretty short.
Yeah,
but like
we got to extend that a little
the
bit.
start of the decade, they signed Jimmy.
Went to the playoffs every year, made 2 finals.
Yeah,
God,
now
so he
a lot of
signed
that.
Jimmy, so he's amazing.
A lot of that was on Jimmy.
Yeah, a lot of that was on Jimmy, and not
but Jimmy
Pat,
is
yeah.
also like they spent the money on Jimmy because Jimmy is a guy that absolutely fits in a culture run by Pat Riley. He was a de facto fit, like from the day he came into the league, and then he wasted his time in Minnesota, forcing his way out of Chicago. What a cluster that was! What an insane, like, couple year stretch for that guy.
Sam Pollock was a great general manager for the Montreal Canadiens. And he started in, I think, 64, and he was done by 77. He moved to Toronto. He's part of the Labatt group, I think. And I think that Sather was here, from 80 to 2000. That was 20 years. And the last 8 were his coda. I think there's a point at which the GM should step off and the guy making the decision should step off. You could be an advisor,
But
Hey,
advisors,
Larry, is this a good trade? I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers, but it looks good. I saw the guy.
to me, advisor just seems like it's like when teams say they're retooling. It doesn't really make any sense.
It doesn't make sense to let Pat Riley make any decisions either.
But like the advisor role, it's like, yeah, okay, so they're just giving you their 2 cents.
Also, like, what's he doing in an advisor role? I won 5 championships with Magic Johnson. Like, okay. That was 1988.
You guys may not know it now, but my suggestion of driving him out into the Everglades is the right one.
Yeah, but then he'd come back riding on the crocodile. He would have tamed it.
If he was all that, they'd be better. All right. Declinations next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rental.
Fan on his first pass, but he still has the punt. Leaves for Pedersen. Try to go back to the brush. Now Pedersen after the punt. The punt sails.
Ball breaks free. Gets it. 7 seconds. Ball the drive. And there's no timeouts left for Miami. Shoot. That's right. '127 to 126 in overtime. The Hornets survive, and they live to see another day. Miami's season is over. Wow, topsy-turvy right to the bitter end. Playing for the Suns. The dance, the try, and score. And the Blazers play.
Here's the lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the lowdown on Sports 1440. 140. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out. WolfGMCBuick.com. It's truck month. And we're talking about the Oilers and the NBA, olives, and a girl. Live radio is the best radio, let me tell you. It is time for Declinations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions, the clear road to a new life. There is a better way. Fairwaydivorce.com. I don't know how you're going to.
I'm like red as a tomato right now. I'm so embarrassed.
We had the highlight of Josh's radio career just now. I don't know how you follow that up, Deck.
Yeah, so
by talking ball.
I think, first of all, maybe before we get into the series, a little apologies in order on my end.
We should have seen the red light.
Well, that olive monologue is beautiful.
It's all our fault.
I'm feeling pretty bad right now. Josh, do you want to maybe take this one for a second here before we get into the NBA?
I was talking about my olive story. For those of you that heard it, congratulations. For those of you that didn't, I'm sorry. I'm not rehashing it.
Yeah. No wonder you have a nosebleed.
Yeah, well, and I'm incredibly I'm very sheepish right now. I'm very embarrassed.
It was genuine, and that's all that counts. It was very well done. All right, Deck.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty bad right now. But yeah, okay, we'll get it. Wow, I'm flustered too.
I think Josh already made his declination from nails. That's a great text.
Do you want to start in the West or the East?
Let's go West.
All right, Thunder, they're going to play one of Phoenix, LA, or Golden State. Listen, the Thunder are going to win that series. I think the Clippers are going to be the toughest matchup for them if it comes to pass. I think the Warriors just don't have it with this current iteration of the team, with all due respect to Steph Curry, who's one of the top 12 players ever. And the Phoenix, they kind of have a tendency to roll over and die a little bit. So max, we're seeing Thunder in 5 against any of those teams in round 1.
I'd say Thunder in 6 against the Clippers, but I agree with everything else because they both have rebounding troubles.
Yeah, they do. And the Clippers' lack of size still gets me a little bit.
But again, I think the weight and how long he's been in the league of Brook Lopez, I think that adds a little something against a guy like Chet.
What's funny about Brook Lopez is even though he's 7'1" and a true 5, he's like a stretch 4 now. Through and through.
Splash Mountain, baby.
Splash Mountain. Spurs, Trailblazers. Listen, the Trailblazers are going to throw some punches. Like they're gonna fight hard. They're gonna give you some. They got some really good defenders in Kamara and Holiday. Holiday a little bit older, but they're not gonna roll over like some of the other teams I just mentioned. I don't think they beat the Spurs, but I think the Spurs also get a bit of a wake up call. Like, oh, this is playoff basketball. Now, to be fair, they're getting a team that is also very young, very inexperienced, and not as good. I expect the Spurs to win in 5 or probably 5, but I do think Portland's gonna throw some punches at them.
I'd say 5. Gentlemen sweep. Portland wins the first game, and then they're like,
First?
Oh yeah.
I bet they get like game 3 at home or something.
I think they come in. They're amped up from the fact that they got the 7th seed. They come into San Antonio, sort of want to swing their around.
Yep.
And then the Spurs are like, oh, that's our bad. And then 4 straight for the San Antonio Spurs. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I hear that. Nuggets, Timberwolves. This is the only series in the first round where both teams could win the championship.
Wolves in 7.
And I don't actually think the Wolves can win the championship, but you know what I mean? Like there's not another series where both teams, you know what I'm saying? I listened. Yeah, 7-game series for sure. The Timberwolves are getting healthy. I got to roll with Nikola Jokic. And I got to roll with the Denver Nuggets. They have home court. I think they win it in 7 as well. And this is the reason why, Josh. Picture this. Can't you just see what I'm about to say? Game 7 in Denver, Nikola Jokic, 45-piece versus Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, and the game-winning shot, because it will be a game-winning shot, is a Nikola Jokic posting up Rudy Gobert, and then he proceeds to fade away off his weak shoulder, and it looks like the most uncomfortable shot ever, and you're going, that's not going in, and then swish.
Lakers Rockets in that 4-5 matchup. This was like the absolute best possible matchup for the Lakers.
Oh yeah.
Still don't think they're going to win it. Now Houston has a lot of but okay, you know how I recapped Orlando's season for everyone this year?
Yeah.
Let me recap Houston's season for you guys this year. They're up by 8 with 4 minutes to go. They lose by 6. There you go. Just watch the Houston Rockets. They cannot score the ball in clutch time. Their offense falls apart for some reason. Like they actually have a nice flow to everything and things run through Şengün. In the clutch, it's just like, hey, KD, can you go run ISO? The offense collapses, defense key on him. It's a really, really big problem for them. That said, the Lakers have nothing. They have one guy who can create his own shot. They have no rim protection. They have no defense. They have one shooter. I think the Rockets probably win this one in 6.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry, I'm also going through the text line.
People want to hear the end of the
no,
Olive story.
We're not telling it. I'm not retelling the Olive story. I have so many problems with the Rockets, but the Lakers are literally just like their best player is LeBron James, who's 41 years old, and then their second best player is DeAndre Ayton. Maybe Rui Hachimura.
I think it's probably Rui, but yeah, that's
but
still
like
not good.
This is what we're talking about with a talent drop off like that. There's something that's stinky about these Houston Rockets.
Oh yeah,
I think this will also go 7 because I think it's going to be one of these things where
it's like a
they both don't really want to win. They both don't really want to lose. So I'll say Rockets in 7.
I mean, like the Thunder would beat these teams like you used to get hided by your dad with the
yeah,
belt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lowetide, before we go on to the East, is there anything you wanted to add on the West?
No, I'm listening and I'm learning, and that's that's the only way I'm going to learn. I cheered for the Thunder because I felt like they had a great team and they lost it without winning, and now they've obviously crowned that and they've moved on. But I'm just interested in the Timberwolves and where you see them. Are they a final Elite 8 or Final 4 team or?
I mean, I think they lose in the first round. Josh thinks they win in 7. I think they lose in 7, but that is no question the best series of the first round in either conference.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But they've been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
I just think
not fluke Western Conference.
No, like real. I think there might be like a little scorched earth Anthony Edwards. But watch this.
Yeah, Tony
going on.
They're calling him Tony.
Yeah, there we go.
East, Pistons are going to play one of either the Hornets, the Magic, or the 76ers. I think they win all the games. I actually think the Hornets would take 2 off them, just shooting the lights out and like scoring 130.
They hate each other also.
Yeah, they do. 76ers, they're kind of like, I don't want to call them mentally weak, but it's just a terrible matchup defensively for them. In Orlando, I can't go on.
Weak?
Yeah, I can't go on about Orlando.
Orlando would probably get beat worse than the Sixers in that spot.
Yeah.
IMO. But I think the Hornets are going to make it through the play-in, and I would say, yeah, I might go another 7-game series. I think that's going to be a really fun series if that's what the matchup is. If it's the Hornets, I'll say Pistons in 7, but everything else is like 4.
The Hornets needed overtime to beat the Bam Adebayo-less Miami Heat.
They
right?
They went 2 of 22 from 3 with LaMelo Ball taking
And
the
Detroit's
dumbest
a
shots of all.
better defensive. Like
I know,
Detroit keys
but
on the perimeter.
they were open shots. They were just missing them. It was bad.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. I'm saying Pistons probably 5, maybe 6 against Charlotte, 5 against the other 2. Celtics for 76ers or Magic. The Celtics will.
That's a sweep.
Just bully these teams in 4. Like we're talking. You know what word we're going to use? Embarrassing.
Yes.
That's what that series is going to look like either way. Knicks Hawks. Listen, I'm picking the Knicks to win. I know people weren't out there watching the Atlanta Hawks. They have a little something.
They got something.
Jalen Johnson is for real, and CJ McCollum, he's older, he's over the hill. But you know what? I'll be darned. He will go out and get you a bucket if you need it. Shout out CJ McCollum, still doing the thing. I'll pick the Knicks in 6, but the Hawks have a little spunk to them.
Did you say I'll be darned?
I'll be darned if CJ McCollum can't.
But that's like an old-timey phrase.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right.
Any whoosies. Yeah, I agree. New York Knicks in 6. They were really good last year. I mean, like Jalen Brunson, we watched him elevate his game. I like this a lot for the Knicks, but I think it's going to be fun. I think the Hawks are going to keep it close. Like if you said Knicks win in 6 and the point differential across all the games is a total of 7, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, no, I totally hear that. I love where your head's at. Cavs Raptors. I did something pretty crazy. And I talked myself into the Raptors winning in 7.
Big mistake.
Now, here's why. Playoff James Harden. Listen, Cleveland's better. Cleveland should win this going away. But playoff James Harden, and I got to be honest, man, the way Darko Rajakovic got everyone on that Raptors team to legitimately buy into a system and to buy into a team identity. Like Cleveland has this thing where, first of all, they've collapsed in the playoffs for 2 or 3 years in a row now. They have this thing where they almost think they should be better than they are, so they kind of stop trying. Like it's a really weird makeup of the team. Now that's corrected themselves a little bit this season, even though they didn't play all that great. I just think, you know what, man? Why not? Why can't they lock it down? Why can't Brandon Ingram put up 26 a night while Scotty and RJ put up 18 and 20 and they go win it in 7? Are you putting your fate in the hands of James Harden in the playoffs? I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to put it in the hands of Donovan Mitchell, even though they're the better team.
In the hands of Donovan
Mr.
Mitchell?
No Conference Finals pushing 30.
I could give a rip. I'm sorry. Was it him that missed the shot against, oh man, who was that? When Mike Conley rimmed it out in the playoffs. That wasn't him. He had to get the pass off because he was getting, guess what? Tripled.
You know, break free of the triple, man. Get the ball back.
You have the ball. You can't break free of the triple.
But you're going to break down a guy's whole career to one shot?
No. But I also think that he is let down by his supporting cast constantly in the playoffs, and it is not Donovan Mitchell who lets his teams down.
I'm not taking all the responsibility off him. But I'm saying Raptors in 7.
No, I'd say like Cleveland in 6.
This is so interesting to me because up until today, I didn't think it was. I thought, Raps are, they're building. Who knows when they'll get good? But Declan, behind them makes this an interesting series.
Listen, I also want to go on record and say Josh is probably going to be right.
I think
Cleveland is a better team.
Yeah, I just think the Raptors are way ahead of schedule. They're overdriving their headlights, basically, is what I think this Raptors team is. As much as I love the defensive pairing of Colin Murray-Boyles and Scotty Barnes together, which is one of the best defensive pairings in the league, I just don't know. I don't think they have the horses to actually stop a backcourt of Donovan Mitchell and James Harden together at the same time. I just don't think they have it. I can see them taking a game, but I can't see them taking the series.
And boom, that's the NBA preview.
Well done. That was interesting
and fast.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny. We can do NBA playoff previews and never talk about the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
they never get brought up, and I get it. I understand. And so you are still. Have we decided who we're comfortable with as the MVP? Or are you guys still? Kind of up in the air about that.
We have decided the ballot. I actually put out the ballots on social media the other day. I had to delete them because of a spelling error I couldn't edit, so I'll probably repost them today. But we will also be we're going to be doing our heart ballot and our NBA MVP ballot on Declinations on Friday.
Okay. And I've got to send you 5 names for the heart.
Yes.
Okay.
When the league wraps up Thursday night.
It'll be
so Friday morning, Thursday
It'll be
night.
Orr, Esposito, Clark, McLeish, and Dryden.
Not bad.
No. So, listen, I don't
don't
want
look
to
at me-
bring up.
don't look
I
at
don't
me
want
like
to
that.
bring up Olive, but
Don't-
people want to hear about. You got
don't
an
look at
eventful
me
day.
like-
Nosebleed told a really. Now, listen. Here's the thing. It's a cute story. It's a sweet story.
I get that it's a cute and a sweet story.
It's like
but
Goodwill Hunting. That scene where you like apples? I like them apples.
I
Same
think
thing.
it's totally different than that because I was not gloating to someone else that
No, you weren't.
bought
But it was
someone-
a little look into someone's life, and it was quite.
Yeah, and for those of you that got to look into my life, congratulations, you lucky ducks. But until then,
my
nothing
fault
else.
again. I'm feeling
Don't worry
incredibly
about it.
bad.
At the beginning of the show, you said you bought olives, but you don't like olives. I wondered why, and now I know.
And
So
now
I
you
thank
know, and no one else has to know.
Yeah, the rest
For
of
now.
the story.
For now.
Yeah. Well, I just, I'm glad you came to the big city and you found olives. That's all I can say.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right, on the way, Jason Gregor. I guarantee we had unique things they won't have on the Gregor Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please enjoy your day. I know I will.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. That's 780-265-0165. Isaac Howard and Quinn Hudson have both been named to the 25-26 AHL All-Rookie Team. And other Oilers news, Zach Hyman set to draw into the lineup tomorrow versus the Vancouver Canucks. MLB scores around the league right now. See the Red Sox over the Twins 9-1 in the bottom of the 8th, and the Cardinals up on the Guardians 5-3 in the top of the 8th. One final from earlier today saw the Diamondbacks over the Orioles 8-5 in extras, and the Toronto Blue Jays will be in action 5:40 first pitch out in Milwaukee versus the Brewers. Dylan Cease on the mound in that one. And you can get the radio feed here on Sports 1440 AM dial only. NBA play-in, Orlando and Philadelphia at 5:30, and Golden State and the LA Clippers at 8. Lines for that one, Philadelphia -1.5 and the LA Clippers -5.5. NHL action tonight gets going with 3 games at 5. Stars and Sabres, New York Rangers and Lightning, Detroit Red Wings and Florida Panthers. The late game will see Seattle in Vegas at 8. And out of the WNBA, the league's first 4-time WNBA MVP, Aja Wilson, has signed a record 3-year, $5 million contract to stay with the Las Vegas Aces. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 14.